There we are. We're live. But I'll give everybody a second to get their booties in here, and so we can share this out too.
I don't even see it come up yet. You on the
I should be on the network.
there it is. Mine just came up. Yeah. Anybody out there? Anybody? We looking. Anybody out there?
Sam Thomas, hello.
Trey, gotta be quiet, son. I can hear you. Well, hello there. Share this out to some of my people. I want to see some of this money, man. I see on the bottom of this thing they say you can send it out in stars. You hit the stars and you get money. And I'm like, man, I haven't seen no money. So what's that about?
Where are we seeing
Yeah.
this at?
On the chat, as soon as you pull it up.
Like if I actually open the stream?
Open up or just go on your phone and look.
Well, I mean, I have to use my phone right now to
Oh,
do
okay.
this
Oh yeah, when
because
you
I'm out at my
like,
grandma's. I don't have my laptop.
have you ever seen when you get into the room and all of a sudden they got at the bottom of it says you got these coins at the bottom. You can buy Bitcoin, whatever the hell the coins are, and you send so many
Oh, okay.
stars. Well, stars. That's it. It's stars to people, and then those stars are like money. How y'all doing? How we doing?
Yeah, TikTok does that to where you can buy coins and you can buy certain things that'll give the person so much money.
Right.
And I'm doing good, Sam. And thank you for sharing out the stream.
Yeah, I'm sharing it out too right now.
Yeah, I just shared mine out to the I think we both shared it to the network chat.
Oh yeah, well I got a dozen more I can do.
Hit them with the double whammy.
Yeah. Let everybody come on in and see it. Hey, how y'all doing?
You know, one person I'd really like to get in here
Hey, gotta be
is
quiet.
I don't know if
What
you've
now?
had a chance to talk to him yet, but James and Abby Goodman.
Mm-mm.
They're running that new crystal show that we have.
Oh yeah. I've seen the.
Lunar
I've seen it,
Nexus.
and yeah, I came on one time. They ran on. I think they were right before me on one of the shows, and then I was like, um, I'm getting ready to come. They had about 20 minutes. I said, well, I just want to let you know I'm coming on right behind y'all, and they shut the show down. I'm like, no, you don't have to shut your show down because I'm coming on, and then no, you run your show. I just let you know I'm ready right behind y'all. So.
Well, I thought Jeremy started a whole nother page for the selling side.
Did he?
I think he did, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he changed his mind. Hello, Bridget.
Hello,
Well,
Bridget.
I think we got enough people in here. We can kind of start talking about that
Yeah.
new movie.
Bridget's from, I believe she's from Australia. If not
Well,
mistaken.
that'd be cool to know I'm reaching the other side of the world, huh?
Let's see.
But
Well, she's
no,
Kentucky. I'm sorry, she's in Kentucky. She's in Kentucky.
okay, she's just a little farther south than me then.
Shit, it's north for me. Anything past Shreveport, y'all Yankees.
Hey now. But like I said last week, I was gonna sit down and watch the new Paranormal Activity movie, and let me tell you, I was not impressed. They're trying to be on some sort of level with the Conjuring series. Um, they're just trying to be a regular horror movie now. That's why I tell Howard the first two are my favorite, because the first two, they're more of what you really see happen in a real case. I'm not saying that all this crazy stuff can't happen. I'm not entirely trying to say that, but let me tell you, this just not what you expect anymore.
I mean, like I agree with uh, like I just don't the movies myself. I think they were just trying to make money. That's all it is. It wasn't for anything that's going on in the and something that we would actually see in the paranormal field.
Yeah.
It's something to me that is something that it's just a money making scam. I mean, it's like you have the Friday the 13th series, and it started off really great, then scared the hell out of you, or Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, and then you get in the middle of all these movies later on. If you look at how many they have in the middle of these section of these movies when they had them, they started to suck. And then at the end, then they started they made it more dramatic and more appealing. So that all it is just to make money on all that. Which, I mean, that's the movie business, I guess. We all here to make money.
Yeah, you got to make money.
Right.
And so you can't entirely, bash on them, because they're all the same. We go to work to make money, and making that movie is their work, and
right.
But I'm just saying, me personally, I did not enjoy the movie. I'm not sitting here telling everybody don't go watch the movie, because I know there's plenty of people out there that love the Paranormal Activity series.
Right. I mean, look at the Amityville House. I mean, Amityville horror movie flick. The first one was awesome. I mean, you look at it and hey, this, especially the 1971, they saying this is a true story and based on a true story. So you watch it and you think, wow, that stuff could happen, which I believe it could happen. But you get down into like Amityville 3 and 4 and all these other ones. It's like, really? I mean, now they're just trying to milk the cow as much as they can until it's dry.
They just keep making the movie just because it's got the name they can.
Right.
And they know the name's going to draw people in, because people have been on top of Amityville, like you said, since the 70s.
Right. And then now you got what you had, The Exorcist. The Exorcist 1 was awesome. I mean, it scared the shit out of me. I seen it when it first came out. That's how old I am, Blake. I'm an old bastard. I seen that movie when it first came out, and my mom had to come in and bless the room. Actually, bless the room, because I would not sleep in the room. But you got down to the Exorcist 3 and stuff like that. No, it lost its shine. So it wasn't as good, and it was just like you said, they were just getting paid off the name of the movie. That's all they were doing.
And I mean, that's just a sign of them, running out of new ideas as a movie company.
Yeah.
That, that you have to go back and ruin those, I'm going to call them cult classics, but, ruin the classics. Yep. And I'm going to agree with what Sam Thomas said here.
Rob Zombie.
A lot of people don't agree with me, but I really do think Rob Zombie makes some really good remakes. When it comes to like Halloween, I did enjoy his Halloween. But a lot of people don't. And yes, Crystal, the new Ghostbusters did just come out this week. Came out yesterday.
We were planning to go see it, but we had babysitting duty, so
we're going to see it tonight.
We definitely have to get a review on that.
How it is. I hope it's a lot better than the last one. And people attack me when I say that, and it's not because the last one they came out with was an all-women's cast why I dislike it. Because all the women in the cast, I think, are all great actresses. They're all great, and I like them all. I think they're all funny. But I just didn't like, just the storyline of it. It tried to follow way too much off the first one just with a female cast.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I did like. I have to say, I disagree. I liked the movie. Uh, I think it falls into that Ghostbusters 1 and 2. The only thing that we're doing is just basically paying a homage to those two. Because I mean, yeah, even at the end of the movie, you hear uh, one of the actresses say, "Well, have y'all ever heard of Zool?" You know, because she heard a name in the background while she's doing her, going over evidence. And to me, I mean, that's from the first one. You know, that they're bringing you back into that first movie, so to speak.
Well, in the new one and all the trailers that I've seen for it, they're bringing back the original, big bad from the first
Mm-hmm.
movie, because I've already seen that it's got the Stay Puft Marshmallow, but instead of him being huge, it's a bunch of little ones.
Yeah.
And
But they're marshmallows. You gotta remember they're marshmallows. So that's what they did. They did little marshmallows out of them. You know, so
well,
I
it's
thought that was
funny
good.
because in the trailer they make s'mores out of each other.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, it's true. And
And
then what they got?
then you
Yeah.
also see the original. I can't remember if it was the key holder or the gatekeeper, but
Mhm.
it's one of the dogs from
Right.
the first one. You see the guy get chased, Paul Rudd. You see him get chased by it, and then you see the Wolf Man that they talked about in the original movies. I don't think you ever really saw him, but they talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's funny, to try and compare what they do on the Ghostbusters movies and what we do in real life. It's always kind of fun, because we don't, trap ghosts like that. We don't run around with proton blasters, even though I would love to. I definitely would if I could.
They got those replicas now. Those replicas, man, they look real and they cost. They do cost a lot of money to have get one built for you.
See, I would just build my own, save so much more money.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't have time to build anything. I got enough stuff to do around the house now. I'm still going to
You're just a busy, busy man.
I'm still going through demolition mode, man. I'm still tearing stuff down from Hurricane Ida. I haven't even started the rebuild yet. I mean, it's
Really.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm right now getting stumps up and everything else. I got almost 90% of my workshop tore down, and I have another well shed to tear down, and it's moving all the stuff out of there, going through everything, make sure everything's working and everything. So it's a little bit of work.
See, I have a question about that.
Sure.
So we all say that natural energy feeds the paranormal field the best. Most people
Mhm.
like to say that. So I was wondering what your thoughts are on how a hurricane would affect on the paranormal field,
Oh,
because
it'll
that's some
spike it up.
major energy,
Oh yeah.
thing.
It does. It spikes it up big time. I mean, down here in Louisiana, we have thunderstorms during the summertime. They come anytime, day, and I mean, they just pop up, and that's electrical, and you can feel the charge in the air. You know, so
Hmm.
that's something that's feeding them and everything. And I was talking to John Griffin II. We had him on a show a while back, and I mean, he is very informative. His what he does, he looks at the science of everything. He just doesn't go out there and
Hmm.
he looks at the science. And he told me that the more humidity that you have in the air is you'll get better EVP responses.
See,
The
I
more
do
clear.
really think what him and his team do is absolutely amazing. Bringing everything down to an exact science, I think is absolutely amazing. Um, and I kind of want to see, um, because they do, the science side of the paranormal, and that's what their experiments really do. As of with things, we kind of just bring new ideas to the table and see if these work. Like just like different devices and all that, just bring them into the field and test them out. That's how we do on things. And I actually have an idea that I've been talking to Jeremy and Crystal about, that we can use on an investigation. That it's another, basically, I'm going to call it a device, but there's nothing electronic about it. But I really want, it's something that I can build. Anybody could build it. It's easy. I'm not going to go into super great detail about it because I don't want no one, taking
Copy
the
the
idea
idea.
and said they
Yeah.
had it, and it's nothing against nobody in here. I just, you never know who's lurking back there and listening to you, because I mean, everyone that I've met so far in the paranormal community, I feel like I've gotten along with pretty well. But there might be somebody out there that just doesn't like me for some reason and wants to, run my name into the mud.
Well, what's not to like about you, Blake? You look like a big old teddy bear.
I guess if a teddy bear had a beard.
Oh, well, that's what that teddy bear has hair all over. There you go. There
But
you go.
we've all run into it though, to where there's just that one person out there that doesn't agree with us and what we do, and and that's not just going for the paranormal field. That could be just about in anywhere. That there's just somebody that doesn't like what you do and how you do it.
Well, that's how we learn too. I mean, you have to look at it. If you're really open-minded and you're a real true paranormal investigator, you want to investigate as many people as you possibly can because they do things differently, and there's something you can pick
Mm-hmm.
up possibly on your investigations. So I try to go with many teams as possible. And to learn.
That's why originally, I had my own group. It was Paranormal Truth Society. I founded my own group, and I do actually think there's another one out there. And if they ever see any of this, I want to apologize to them. I didn't know the name existed. I Googled it. I've always done that before I come up with a name for something. And I, even for the acronym PTS, I would even look that up. And the only thing that I would get was some sort of company and I think some local band somewhere. And so I was like, okay, I'm good to go. And then we came up across Corey made a post or something and tagged our group page for PTS, and he tagged the wrong PTS. And they said, you got the wrong guys. And it's like, oh, there's another one out there. So, I don't want to make them feel like, I just saw their name and thought it was cool and stole it. You could ask my buddy who was on the team with me originally. We sat in his room and we were shooting idea names off at each other back and forth, but it but that's what you said, going out and investigating with other people. That's why I made the point, to get in close with Corey and Jeremy right off the bat. And I got to investigate with Corey quite a few times, but that's just because he's from the same town that I am.
Yeah.
And most of his team is. I think there's like one person on his team that doesn't live in Wabash.
Yeah.
And I learned from them, learned how they did things, and with Jeremy, Crystal, and Tim, I got to do the one investigation with them, and that was all sorts of fun. And we learned that night that spirits, for some reason, like it when me and Tim are alone at the Davies house.
That's weird.
And it makes it so much worse that we were in the boom boom room together.
Was Scotty involved in this?
No, sadly
I'm,
not.
I'm surprised.
Well, let me tell you a funny story. Here's some paranormal news for you. When we went on that residential, it was me, Scotty, Tim, and Crystal, and Jeremy met us there. But us four, we rode together, and they had the bright idea. Oh, let's put Blake in the front seat, right next to Scott. Scott was trying to get all cuddly with me. He got a real swift smack of the hand.
Oh Lord, I've
Oh,
seen
you're
some
in for a
videos.
treat when you come up here, Howard.
I've
Oh,
seen
he's
some
gonna get you.
videos. Oh, that's fine. I might get him first. I don't know. It's like them big dogs getting on them little chihuahuas, it just doesn't happen.
Well, and I kind of felt bad for when I originally, just meant it to be a little playful, you know, smack on the hand, whatever, not trying to actually, hit him or anything. But I kind of forgot that I had a ring on at the time,
Mm. Oh,
and it was full on ring right on his knuckle. Oh, I felt bad. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
I had a friend of mine. Well, he's not a friend. Well, now he is a friend of mine, but he was a fan watching the shows and stuff like that. And he's from California, and he knows of my love for a certain movie. There's all kind of horror movies and stuff out there, but my love for one movie, I just love this movie for some reason. Is Pumpkinhead. I love
That's an
that
old
movie,
school
Pumpkin.
movie.
Oh yeah, and so he sent me a replica of
Well,
Pumpkinhead.
that's so cool.
It's got vines and stuff like that for legs and all. It's pretty
That's really
detailed.
cool.
He sent me that, and I said, "Oh, I appreciate that. That's something I'll cherish. That's for sure." Uh, because I just love that movie. I just do. I just love that movie.
If anybody wants to know what my favorite movie was, it was a $1 million.
It's $1 million. Just send him $1 million. I like that.
But no, like
Oh,
thinking about it, if I got to think about what my favorite horror movie is, man, I guess I just have to say it's the original Scream was my favorite one,
you like the
and that's
slasher
why.
movies?
Yeah, I like the slashers, like Michael Myers and Scream, and like your OG, your cult classics, like
Mm-hmm.
Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, like all them are typically like my go-to horror movies. And if anything, I'll watch all sorts of horror movies, like your ghost ones, like Paranormal Activity and the Conjuring movies, of course. That's I get into the Conjuring movies because they are based off true events, real cases. No, am I going to sit here and tell you that everything you see happen in the movie happened in the real case? No, because you got to think it's a movie. They got to make it appealing. Um, and Sandy, no, Final Destination scarred me as a child because that came out when I was real little and I watched it. No, I won't watch it. I won't even watch Saw because I don't really get into the super gory part of everything. Because with the
Changeling was
slasher
good.
movies, yeah, The Changeling was a good movie, but with the slashers, you know the story of the killer and most of the time why they do it. Because with Jason, it's he does it to protect Camp Crystal Lake and it's because he's been so closed off he thinks that his mom's talking to him. And then Freddy, he was already a murderer before he died and became
Yeah,
the dream demon.
kill children and shit. That was weird. Well, it's not weird, but I mean, not today's standards because that's what they're doing already. But it was a weird movie for me. I like one movie that I just recently recaptured. I mean, I was just flicking through. I have a lot of streaming channels, and
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it in a long, long time. And it's an old school movie, and it's called the name of the movie is called The Sentinel, and it's about an old priest was sitting up in the attic looking out of a window, and he was actually guarding the gateway to hell. And the woman, he was this time, he was too old to do it. So this woman came in and they basically let her live there. And she was seeing all kind of stuff that was happening in the place. And uh, finally, she was the one who took over for him at the end of the movie. So
That's a really good movie.
yeah, it is a really good movie. So to me, that's the type of movies I like. I like the old school or the true horror films. Not the
Yeah.
the slasher and the blood and all that. That doesn't do it for me. I mean, I like to be scared. The old classic, Frankenstein. I'll give you a good example. Frankenstein, The Mummy. Those old movies like that. Those
Oh,
are true horror movies.
oh, for sure. I always had like original movies like that style, like your original monster movies and all that will always have a special place in my heart. You know, and let's be honest, those original, movie monsters is the whole reason why I prefer to go Orlando Studios over Disney.
I'd love to go there. I'm thinking about doing something like that next year. Going to what is it? It's not a Disney World. It's GM or what is it? Not GM?
Universal.
Universal, right next door. And
We
a bunch of
we went there years ago as a family vacation, and let me tell you, the whole big reason was because I mean, I'm not even going to say just growing up because I'm still a huge Harry Potter nerd.
I was getting ready to say that. I mean, I love Harry Potter too. So I mean, that's Christmas movies for me.
All the all the Harry Potter rides there and all the stuff that you can do for Harry Potter is phenomenal. I still have the wand that I got from there because I got they have these little interactive ones that you can get, and then you can walk around the park at certain spots, and then you can wave it in a certain way, and it'll do the spell.
Wow.
And and I want to say that one was like $60 to do
Yeah,
that,
that ain't
in which
bad.
I think it's either only $20 or $10 more because a regular one that you can't do the interactive is either 40 or $50. I think
Yeah,
I
might
don't
as
know
well
how
pay.
prices
Yeah,
are now. But I'd be down to spend an extra 10-20 bucks just so I can walk around and have fun with it. And they still got all the other sorts of stuff. I don't think that they have the superhero stuff that they used to anymore since now Disney owns Marvel and all that. Because when I went, they had the X-Men, they had Spider-Man and Captain America, but the only monster ride I think that they have for like one of the three original monsters was the Mummy ride, but it was the one for the movie with Brendan Fraser, which I think that was a good movie. I liked the movie
yeah.
with Brandon Fraser. I didn't really like the other ones when they
Tom
tried to
Cruise.
change out the actors and all that. And
They didn't want to. Nobody wants to use Brandon Fraser anymore to do anything. But he is back. He does a show.
he just got through all of his stuff with court and
He's like
everything.
a Frankenstein monster or something on a show right now. It's on. I think it's on not Netflix. I don't think it's on. Oh, HBO Max, I believe it is. Um, it's I can't think of the name of the show right now, but he is back. He is starting to act again.
Yeah, he's got a movie coming out. I think it's next year. I think it's going to be Apple TV exclusive, and it's. I think what I saw it has him, Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio in it. You know, it's got him and some other real big names in it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm hoping, you know, this is a jumpstart for him because let me tell you, I miss Brandon Fraser. You know, he was one of my favorite childhood actors with you know, like George of the Jungle, you know, grew up on that as a kid. The Mummy. What's the one movie where he plays a caveman? Is that Mr. Y2K or something like that? Mr.
Encino
2000?
Man. Encino Man.
Yeah, where the other teenagers find him in their backyard and they
Yeah,
thaw him out.
Polly Shore and what's his name? He played in Lord of the Rings. I can't think of his name right now. But yeah, they thaw him out and he goes to high
Yeah,
school. Man, that was a funny movie.
because I think they use like hair dryers to thaw him out or something.
Yeah, my favorite actor. I'm trying to pull him up so I know what he is. There he is. And that is with his name.
Sandy said they've never seen or read Harry Potter. I don't know how you got away with that, with how popular Harry Potter gets around the Halloween and Christmas time.
Yeah. Bruce Campbell. That's his name. I love Bruce Campbell.
Yep.
Hey, David, how's it going, brother? David's has his own show over in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, he's awesome, David. I love David. He's a really cool guy. Um, Now, my favorite horror funny movie that I've ever seen, and I'm if you ever see my shows, I am a sick individual. I'm sorry, and uh, it's called Bubba Hotel, and it's about Elvis Presley. And he really didn't die of a heart attack. He changed places because he got tired of the stardom and everything, and they found him in a nursing home. And he is with supposed to be Elvis Presley in a nursing home. And in the nursing home, they have John F. Kennedy with him, but he's black. And he explains why he's black. He said because they dyed him that color. They trying to hide him from everybody. This movie's really sick. And why I call it Bubba Hotep is because they had a traveling freak show that was going on. What was this? Oh, I can't answer you right now. Anyway, it was a traveling freak show type thing, and it had a mummy that was in it, and it crashes into a river, and it comes up, and the way that this mummy can survive is to suck your soul. And when he sucks your soul, he sucks it out of your asshole.
Now, this
That
is some
movie,
real paranormal talk.
I mean, that was a great movie. I laughed my butt off when I seen that thing. It was so funny, the stuff that they come up with in that movie. But it's a horror flick. It's a horror flick. It's just like you
It's
did
a
Army of
spoof.
Darkness.
It's a horror spoof, just like them scary movies.
Yeah.
Those are messed up. I don't know how you don't get into them because that's right up your alley in comedy.
I watch them and it's funny, but I mean, that's the ones I like. I mean, Army of Darkness was awesome with Bruce Campbell. Uh,
Oh
Anything
yeah.
with Bruce Campbell, I pretty much watch. You know, that's my boy. I mean, he's
There's
just
actually a
funny as
new
hell.
video game coming out for Evil Dead.
Really? Huh?
Yep, it's gonna be like the Friday the 13th video game where it's Jason versus all the campers.
Right?
But in this one, you're gonna play as the characters from all the Evil Dead series. You know, you got Bruce Campbell's Ash. You got the guy from when they went medieval, and they got all sorts of the other characters from the movies and the TV show. And then you got one player that can bounce back and forth as a deadite and possess different things and people, and then I think I saw that you gotta piece together the Necronomicon and say the spell, and then you win. Well, you beat the deadite person.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Because yeah, I mean, I'm gonna look into it once it comes out. But
That's one of the things my son asked for Christmas. My son's going to be 29 years old this Sunday. He's autistic, but he has the mind of a 12-year-old, and he makes out his Christmas list just like he does every year. And on the top of that list, he asks for a PlayStation 5.
Oh,
And
if
I'm
you're gonna
like,
get one, could I have one too?
if I buy it, it's going to be underneath lock and key. And I'm going to be watching it because that thing's like over $1,000 for that freaking gaming system. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, and that's because, with the COVID check that came out and everything, people bought them in stockpiles. And then now they're trying to resell them at different prices. Because I think if you were to buy it straight from Sony, I think the PS5 is like $600 straight from Sony.
I might do that.
But right now, I read something up on it a while back, and what Sony's doing right now, the reason you can't go to Walmart or GameStop and get them is because they're sitting on a big stockpile of them, so people can't do that again.
Right,
They'll
they got to
only
buy them
release so
online.
much at a time, so people can't just scoop them up and scalp price them again, and
Right.
it's,
But that was
I
on
think it was
Walmart.
wrong.
That was on Walmart's line. I mean, online for Walmart, just buying it, just going on there and order it from them and shipping it. It was over $1,000. I mean, if they have so many of them, why don't they just sell them at a reasonable price? But I don't know. But that's what I might have to do is go to Sony.
I got a buddy that has one, and I think he told me he paid either $800 or $900 for it. But he got it when he was a big time trucker. He don't do that no more. But he bought it while he was making that money on the road, so he could easily afford it. When you make that money as a truck driver, I mean, yeah, you don't get to enjoy most of the things that you buy, but you can buy them. That's for sure. Just afford just about anything you really want, and that's like the only down part of when you make that money as a truck driver, because you don't get to really enjoy it, because you get to be home maybe 4 or 5 days out of a whole month.
Yeah, but you can hook it up in your truck.
There's a lot of people that do that. In which, sorry, the same buddy I was telling you about, he likes to play video games, and so what he used to do, he went out and bought him a gaming laptop, and so he just played his video games on that laptop while he was on the road. And there's actually some, he's told me before they got famous, I don't know if you've ever heard of them Twitch streamers. They just sit online and play video games all day and let people watch them.
Yeah. I've seen that.
And they make buku money. Excuse me.
Who in the hell want to watch somebody? That's what I don't understand. Who in the hell would want to watch somebody play a game that you just watching them play a game? I'd rather just go ahead and buy the game and play it myself.
I mean, for me, I like to watch people like that on YouTube. I don't necessarily get down with watching it live, but I like to see their reactions because most of the time it's like just pretty funny and to have a good laugh at. But there's a few of them that are pretty famous. You got Tim the Tap Man, Dr. Disrespect, another one named Lupo. But my buddy told me that he actually used to play with them before they got real big and famous. When he played with them, they had just started really streaming and all that, and it was funny because he told me the whole reason that they liked playing with him is that they were infatuated that he was a truck driver and playing while he was on the road. They just loved it. Well, hi, Papa Dog.
Yeah, that's Trixie.
Well, hi, Trixie.
That is Trixie. She don't know what the hell's going on.
Are you going to come up with Howard and visit us all too?
Oh, hell no. I'll put her in the stuff, she'll just disappear. She's a little thing. I got I got 6 dogs.
Do you really?
Yes, I do. This is the baby. This is the little one.
Right there.
That's the little one. Then I got, let's see, I got a pug. Her name's Lila. And then I got a Beagle Basset Hound. Her name is Rue. I have a Border Collie. His name is Breeze. I have a black uh, uh, Rottweiler. I'm not Rottweiler. I can't think of it. I got a brain fart going on right now.
Pitbull.
Pitbull. Yeah, there you go. I got a black full-blooded Pitbull. His name is Hades because he's black and he's Hades. It's the devil. And then I have an American Blue Pit, and she's gorgeous, and her name is Artemis.
Beautiful names. Beautiful names.
And especially Rue. I named her after a gumbo. She's so fat. That's my fat dog. She just coming walking up to me. She got beautiful blue eyes. We rescued her from a shelter. The shelter rescued her, and we rescued her from the shelter. Somebody beat this dog so bad and broke her jaw and everything and threw her in the dumpster. And at first, she did not want to go around people. Yeah, I know that she is. She did not want to go around people. And when I went to go see her for the first time, she actually peed. I mean, she was that scared. And when they beat her up, they broke her jaw and everything else. And so now she has a permanent smile. It looks like she's always smiling. But yeah, she's gotten to the point where yeah, you're a fat dog, huh? She needs to lose some weight. Big time. Yep. Then let's see. Then the pug we rescued. The people. It was a neighbor of ours. Just let the dog go out and just kept escaping, and it would drink ditch water and got worms real bad, and they just didn't want it. So the SPCA came in, picked her up, and I said, if y'all can save her, I want her. And they saved her, and he has been here ever since. So I mean, all these dogs are different ages. The two pit bulls are the youngest, and then you have Breeze is about in that same category. Trixie's older, Rue's older, and the pug she's like the grandma. So, yep. And then I got 2 pigs, 14 chickens, and a shady ass cat.
Shady cat.
Yeah, that's Buggy. He's an English short hair, and no matter where you are, have you ever seen that movie Pink Panther with Kato? And Kato would come out of the closet. He'll come out underneath the bed and attack Peter Sellers. And he's like Inspector Clouseau with nunchucks and all. That's Buggy. I mean, you can be walking through the room and he just comes flying at you. Boom, he hits you. It's all in play, but that's what he does.
I call him my stepbrother, but he's really just my mom's boyfriend's son. But he's got a cat named Zelda, and she's just a skinny little black cat, full black cat, beautiful as can be. But let me tell you, she's a little shithead. Because on the back porch, she really likes to do it at night. On the back door to go outside, they just have black curtains. And so when it's nighttime and everything's all black, you do not see her at all. And you'll go walk by there because the bathroom's right there too, one of the bathrooms at their house. And you'll walk by there and then boom, she's getting your ankle. And it makes you jump. Because it's like, what was that, you know?
I believe it.
You know, there was one time I about punted her because she scared me so bad because, like, she full on latched onto my leg. You know, like, she didn't, bury her claws in me or nothing, but she, she got me that good. You know, she just scared me, and I about, like, kicked her, and I was like, oh, no, I don't want to, I'm not a person to hurt animals. You know.
I don't hurt mine either. They all get love. That's why you see them hopping around. They're not hopping up and down like they usually do during the daytime. Right now, they see me. They know that I'm doing something on the computer, so they just lay real still. They're quiet unless somebody comes to the door. But besides
most times when you're on a show, I normally see your pit bull. I think it's Artemis jumps up behind you.
No, that's
Because it's
actually
not the...
that's the border collie. That's Breeze.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Scott found us.
Oh, yes, he will.
Uh,
Yes, he will.
I'm going to have to not go on any investigations where Scott's involved now.
Just wear knee guards and just let it happen. Just
I'm
let it
gonna
go.
I'm gonna get like leather chaps and wrap barbed wire around him. You know, wear the leather so I don't get cut. But every time he tries to come hump my leg, he can't because he's
And you
getting...
talk about leather chaps in Louisiana, and you're talking some serious stuff. Because they have Decadence Festival down here every year, and they wear them chaps, but they're assless, and they don't have underwear or nothing on behind them. It's what it is. It's assless chaps, and so make sure you have something kind of protection on the backside of that thing.
Oh, I'm still gonna have my jeans underneath. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would put it like a steel plate.
Well, I mean, now I know I'm gonna wear when you come up to Indiana to greet you at the hotel.
You're gonna be assless.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord, and you can't have any underwear and all that stuff on. You got to be all. It's got to be bare ass.
Oh yeah, full commando.
Now Ricky Hellier's supposed to be up there too now, and he's just as crazy as I am.
Oh yeah. Well, because he doesn't live far from Huntington. It's about 20-30 minute drive. It depends on what side of Fort Wayne he's on. If he's
He's on
on
the
the real
south
close
side.
side, it's on south side, so he's probably only like 20 minutes away from Huntington. And then you got Jeremy, who lives completely on the other side of Fort Wayne. And then of course you're gonna have because Big Scott, Scott Smith, uh he lives right there in Busco, which that's not far. Then you're gonna have Scott Wilson. You know, that's the one you got to worry about, who
I
lives
like
right there in
Scotty.
Huntington.
That's to be like one of my partners around here. They're doing that kind of crazy stuff. That's just like we do down here. I mean, I'm an old man, but my boys, they always doing something stupid to one another. I mean, literally. Oh, God. I got one
I
guy who
mean,
used to, he gets up at work and he has to be to work for like 4 a.m. So he's in his truck about 3. And we used to wait for him, just wait in the bushes and wait for him to come in and get to his truck and he have his window rolled down. And we throw firecrackers, all kind of stuff lit. Oh, Lord, that's fun times. He is innocent.
I think.
God is innocent.
Oh
He's
no,
innocent.
no,
Oh,
but we were actually talking about you Saturday when we went out. Talking
uh,
about when you were telling me when you were planning on potentially planning on when you're coming up,
mm-hmm.
and we all agreed, man, you are not gonna like it how cold it is when you get
But
up
that's
here.
what we were talking about because it's not so much me. I don't mind it. I like the cold. It's Jackie,
Mm-hmm.
and Tim and Crystal Kohler can tell you this. Um, Jackie has a lot of anxieties, and I drove in flood water. It was about that deep, and she was ready to jump out the car. I mean, she just couldn't. She just can't stand it. She doesn't fly. She doesn't get on the boat. She doesn't. A lot of things she won't do, and it's understandable why she has those anxieties. But she found out it was snowing up there. She showed me pictures. She says, "Howard, I don't know." I said, "Look, it's a light dusting. That's all it is." And she, well, now just they got a lot of snow in it, and oh, she's already started. She's already started.
Well, in Wabash and Huntington, we haven't had any real snow stick. You know, it's like you said, it's just been the light dustings, and none of it sticks. See you, Scott. Have a good one. Love
All
you
right, my
too,
brother.
brother.
And I mean, she's just, I don't know. It's her, me being from Louisiana, that I can drive in 3 foot of floodwater. 3 foot of flood, I can drive it, no problem. I mean, of course, it's a problem, but I mean, you're driving in floodwater, okay? But I can drive it.
Yeah.
And if it gets any deeper than that, I get a boat and I'll float through and through the street. I'll get to where I got to get to. But her, I mean, she's lived here all her life, and she's never experienced that. She's always been sheltered, with that part. And for her to see that, I mean, it could be a lightning storm, and she freaked out. I mean, a good example is when they had Hurricane Ida here, and the winds were up to about 140, 150 miles an hour outside, steady. That's without the gusts. The gusts would run up to about 250, depending on how big of a strong gust of wind is. And I was walking outside. I was going to be Jim Cantor, and I was going out there and see what the hell's going on because some stuff fell down. I heard stuff blowing and stuff like that, and that's when I found out that this is when some of the trees were already falling down and on my property, on the sheds and stuff like that. And when I was out there, that's when that third tree finally fell and it yanked the meter pan clean off my house. I mean, that's how strong that thing was, the big this tree was. And I seen the sparks and all that, and you can hear her inside screaming and hollering. She didn't even step outside. You could hear her screaming and hollering because I was outside. So, I mean, she's...
Howard, get your ass back in this house.
Oh, it was more graphic than that, trust me. But, yeah, she just doesn't like doing it.
My uncle lives down there in Louisiana.
Really? Which part?
He lives right there down on the bottom, right there in Carson.
I'll have to find out where that's at. I've never heard of Carson. Because I live like that. We're like the fungus on the toe of Louisiana. You got the boot and they got the little, we're the fungus right there.
Well, I believe when I looked it up, Carson is on the bottom left-hand side. You know, that little part that kind of sticks out from the rest of the state?
Mm-hmm.
Not Ida, but the last hurricane y'all had. The first town that the hurricane actually hit was Carson, where he was living. And
I mean, the furthest town that we have that's down there that people inhabit is Grand Isle. And when Grand Isle gets hit, it's still devastating. Some places still don't have power.
Really?
To this day, yeah. And then you have Venice, which is where the oil refineries, they're sending their guys out of. These big rigs out there, the oil rigs out in the Gulf. They got their crew boats and stuff like that, and they send out oil tools and stuff like that out to them. That's where that part is.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find out where Carson's at. It must be a real small town.
Cameron.
Oh, Cameron. There you go. I know where Cameron's at.
Not Carson, yeah. Cameron.
It's in there, Carson. I have to find that place. Cameron. I know where Cameron's at. Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. If he don't know it, it must be wrong. And I thought about it. It's Cameron.
Yeah, I know where Cameron's at. Yeah. And they get hit. They do get hit when it comes up that way. And they get hit hard because you get the brunt of a storm. You're not just getting some of the little, feeder bands and stuff like that. You get the tidal surge and everything from the Gulf and everything from those. And
well, he sent me pictures when it happened. His lawnmower was on top of his house.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's crazy. That's some tornado stuff.
Oh no, you should see Hurricane Katrina, man, in New Orleans. After Katrina passed, I went back. You see, that was August 29th, and Ida was also August 29th. I went through New Orleans. This was back in November of that year, and the city was dead. I mean, there was nobody in the city. I mean, absolutely nobody. And you have cops, NOPD. Some of the NOPD cops would be like every third block. They'd have a cop sitting there. And the only thing they were doing is watching for looters and stuff like that. And you could see where the water lines were. And these these little motels and stuff like that, and hotels. Cars were stuck in the third and fourth floor of these hotels, where the water just picks up these vehicles and just drives them into hotels or whatever, houses or whatever. So yeah.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, we're trying to plan an investigation. It was from Hurricane Katrina. It was a nursing home in New Orleans where the administration and nurses and all left, but they left the patients there, the residents. And of course, that's when the levees first broke and they evacuated quick, but they just didn't take the patients, the residents. And these are elderly people, and they drowned to death in that building. They actually drowned. And to me, hey, Carl, how you doing, brother? To
Hello,
me, that would be a great.
dimension.
Yeah. To me, that would be an awesome. I've had Andrew Gonzalez with 303 Paranormal. He's been going in there a lot. He goes there and he does investigations there, and he said it was very active. Because you got to remember, these people were residents, and some of them had dementia, some of them were, Alzheimer's and such things. Some of them were in their right mind, but where did they go? You get a lot of people get confused. You see water coming in, and there's nowhere for you to go. So it's going to have a lot of residual energy there, a lot of energy there.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you got it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right, man. He's smoking turkeys. Carl smoking turkey, man.
Woo-hoo.
That's got to be good.
I think that's your beagle back there having some problems getting up on the couch. I keep seeing their head pop up behind you.
That's Fat Dog. She's so fat she can't get up. I'm serious. She's a fat dog. But I have the other dogs help her push her up sometimes. She'll get out of breath.
My mom's boyfriend's mom, she's got a dog that's a wiener dog.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, that sucker, he is so big, he couldn't even jump if he wanted to.
Yeah, she got it. See how fat she is? Look.
Just plops herself right on down. Just
that's it. She's a big dog. She's big. She's heavy. She, as small as she is, she's got to weigh at least about 45, 50 pounds. She's fat. She is fat. She eats. Boy, she eats. She covers up the whole food bowl. She's got her own food bowl, actually. And they said we need to put her on a diet. Put that dog on a diet. She'll kill the other dogs. She'll eat the little one, that's for sure.
When you said that you had a pug, it made me think of this dog that I saw on Facebook. It was a German Shepherd pug mix.
Ooh, how did that happen? Because pugs are small. And then you got German Shepherd.
A very, very determined male pug is how that happened.
Good Lord. That would be interesting breed to look at. That's very unusual.
Yes,
it would be a good watchdog, that's for sure.
Well, because when you first see it, you would think it'd be like a Akita pug mix, like when you first look at it. But it's no, that's just not right. The fur pattern's not right. And then they say that it was German Shepherd, and I was like, what? Because it was really weird because, German Shepherds don't normally have the curled tail. And it was really weird because
you got a straight long tail.
Yeah, but with that pug mix, that dog had that long tail, but with the curl.
Yeah.
And it was really weird. Is that the is that Hades collie back there behind you?
No, that's the border collie. He's got a skin allergy right now. He's got going on, and he lost most of his hair. So it's not. Okay. We thought at first it was mange, but it's not mange because none of the other dogs lost, and the vet said no, it's not mange. he just has a skin allergy, so we got to put this medication on him. And he takes this oral medication. He's getting his hair back finally. So he looked like a bald dog. If you ever seen that, that was some weird looking shit, you know.
Well, a family friend of mine, they have a bunch of blue nose pits, and the oldest one, Kiara, she's just the old lady. She's the mama of every dog in that house. I mean, she'll let you know that she's your mama too. You know, that's just how Kiara rolls. And I mean, you know, just a couple years ago, we finally got to the point to where I could just walk in the house and she finally wouldn't even bark or growl at me. You know, as long as she saw it was me.
Right.
But she's just getting so old to where she don't got mange. She don't have no skin allergies. She's just that old of a pit bull that she's just starting to lose all her hair. And
yeah.
But let me tell you, the one thing that dog still loves to do to this day, she loved to do it when she was a puppy, and she still loves to do it now, is if you take like a little washcloth, like a little hand towel, and you hold it out in front of your chest, she'll still launch herself straight up and grab it and throw herself in circles. And she just, I don't know what it was. You know, no one ever trained her to do it. She just absolutely loved doing it.
That's what happens to my dog, especially Artemis. We take baths and showers and stuff. Since it's the master bedroom, got a master bath. I go in there and I leave the door open. But Jackie, she'll shut the door behind her, but I leave the door open. I don't give a shit, you know. I'll shit and I'll walk in there when she's taking a bath and I'll take a shit or whatever she's taking. I don't care. Anyway, I'll get in the tub and I'll start slathering my hair up and everything. And I've got soap in my eyes and I go reach for my towel and it's gone. And I couldn't figure out how in the hell, I thought I grabbed the towel, you know, it's like, did I forget to grab a face rag, you know? No. And what happened was Artemis would stand by the door and just watch me. And as soon as I put that towel up there, she'll start sneaking in. And when I start throwing water on my face, she'll haul ass with the towel. So I've been lost about maybe 30 towels with her by doing that. She just takes them and she just tears them up. I don't know what's the deal because they're already wet. She just likes to flap the water around. So that's Artemis.
That's pit bull for you, though. You know, they're just goofy dogs.
Oh, yeah. They're lovable,
they
too.
Get
That's
such a bad rap, but they are the biggest babies ever.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They think they lap dogs.
Oh, yeah.
They think they're lap dogs.
Well, that the guy I was telling you about that I call my stepbrother, he's got a big old pit bull. And let me tell you, he's a tubby bastard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he runs around and jumps on you, and just like he's a little Chiweenie or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! And he'll lay on top of you to cuddle.
And they're smart. Oh yeah, we have Artemis sleeps with us every night. She knows. She starts screaming and hollering. They have the kennels, and Artemis will start screaming and hollering at night. So you have to let her out. She comes to sleep. She gets underneath the blanket. She has her own pillow. Everything. That's her spot. She sleeps between me and Jackie. Well, Hades, he's a smart. I have never seen a dog like that before. We keep them apart. One's a male, one's a female. And Hades will run to Artemis and go check her out, make sure she's okay. And he's the puppy. And then he'll do what he wants to do. And it's when Artemis, she'll go, rrr, 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 and he'll run over there and sniff the cage and everything. But he's gotten to the point where now he knows how to unlock the cage.
Yeah.
He sits down and he works on that lock and he grabs it with his mouth and he'll push it open. He'll let her out and they just start playing and running around. I said, oh, no, you'll tear up something. So I got to separate them and grab them and it's a fight. But now it's 2 locks on the cage and then we have to put a little thing on it to twist it, you know, like a little thing where we twist tie it it's like a giant twist tie we put on it. And that way Hades doesn't let Artemis out.
Because pit bulls, especially together, they play rough.
Oh, they do. It's all teeth. I've never seen teeth like that before. They're all teeth.
But, you know, they make a point. They never, ever break skin with each other when they're playing. No. Now, you'll know when a pit bull ain't playing.
They grab you now, and I had to look it up. It's called mouthing. Both of them, they'll actually grab you on the arm, and you can feel the pressure. but they don't break the skin. They just put it just enough the way they can just, put your arm in their mouth, so they know that. I guess they tasting you, or that's some kind of greeting for them or something. But that's what it's out of love. I know that, because she doesn't do it, but she'll lay down next to me and just all of a sudden just run. No, it's not even lunch. She just leans forward and she'll put my arm in her mouth.
It is a very loving sign for them. It's a very trusting sign. Like
have you ever had them lay on your neck?
Oh yeah.
They go neck to neck for some reason. If you're on your back, they'll come up to you and they'll lay their neck on your neck, and they just want to stay like that. And I'm like, what the hell is this about?
That's exactly how Trent's dog Tank is. The big tubby bastard. You'll be laying on your back on the couch or something, and he will walk up you just so that he can lay right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets mad at you if you make him stay down by your feet or something. Like, it's one thing, I'll let him lay next to my legs. Like, I'll scoot my legs over and give him a little bit of room. I mean, but he don't care if there's room or not. He's like, if I'm fitting, I'm staying. I'll scoot my legs over and let him lay down by me. But he gets mad when I don't let him crawl all the way up to my head, because it's like, dude, you're big. I can't breathe when you're on top of me.
Now you're gonna cut your circulation off to you, like he's strangling you or something,
But in his mind, he's loving on you, and he's a big old baby. He's an awesome dog. And
that's what I'm getting ready to do right now. I'm doing some research right now, and I mean it's going to be further down the road, but it's going to be about pets in the paranormal. Does animals have spirits and things of that? And I've seen photos and pictures and videos and stuff like that of different things, and I just want to do some more research into it before I actually do a show about it. But
exactly,
I want to do, because I mean these things. There's people who pass away, and these animals know it, and it's their owners, and they'll sit by graves, and they'll cry and everything else, just like a human emotions. It's really strange. But they are fur babies. They are our family. So I mean that's what I call my babies. That's my fur babies. So
of course, I sadly do not have my own dog anymore. I grew up. We had quite a few different dogs. I grew up and we had a Rottweiler puppy that was absolutely my dog. Me and that dog were inseparable, even when he was a little puppy. Inseparable. But he had a point of, even when he was a little pup, he was strong as could be.
Mm-hmm.
And he got off his. We had the little things the little anchors that you basically just screw into the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
But he had the power as a little puppy. He never even reached being grown at all. But he had a point of pulling that thing out of the ground and walking up the road, because there was a lady that lived up there that every time he'd go up there, she'd give him a treat. That's what he would do. He'd go get that treat and come right back down.
You need to get you one of them damn mobile home tie downs. It goes about 3 foot into the ground.
Well, that's the thing. The last time that he did it, he actually got ran over.
Oh.
And like I said, he never even reached getting real big or anything, because you know how big Rottweilers get. And he came up to like the middle of your shin when he got ran over. And
that would hurt. That would kill me. That would actually kill me.
Oh yeah, my mom couldn't even. We had to call my grandpa because none of us could even go close to it. Because I mean, yeah, this happened when me and my little brother, we were young. I was probably about 9, 10 years old when this happened, and he what was crazy about it is that the person that ran him over was the lady that gave him treats.
Wow.
And she was absolutely devastated about it. Because the hill that we used to live on was so steep, and people would just fly down it. And it was just so, because I mean, the lady was absolutely devastated. She got out of her car crying and, just running up to my mom, like, I'm so sorry, and, my mom didn't hold her, accountable for it, didn't, none of us did,
It's an
we
accident.
never, exactly, and it's because we knew how, his name was Dog. His name was
Hmm?
Dog.
Right, Dog. A lot of people, I've heard that name before too.
But we just knew it. We did up teen different of them anchors. We first started with the one that was just the kind of look like the arrow that you kind of
Hmm.
just shove in the ground and twist.
Hmm.
He pulled that right on out. Then we tried the corkscrew one. He pulled that right on out. Then we kept on the corkscrew one, but we got a bigger one, and he'd always pull it out,
Hmm.
and
What's
it
up,
didn't.
Nick?
But then we ended up getting a boxer. Her name was Babe. Absolutely most loving dog ever.
Hmm.
And and people would come over and say, "Oh, she's kind of butt ugly and all that," because we called it her udders. She had udders, but that's because the family that had her before us
What's up,
just
puppies?
bred the living hell out of her. Ever since she was, as soon as she was barely old enough to be bred, they bred her.
That's crazy.
And,
Puppy farm.
her last pregnancy was with us, but, we didn't make a point to breed her. We weren't going to because of what she'd already been through. She took it
Hmm.
upon herself to go to the neighbor's yard and get the neighbor's dog to woohoo
Nick is watching
her.
from Iowa. Nick, look what Blake's wearing. Lean forward, Blake. Let me see the top of your hat. Oh, he's gonna like that.
But,
Nick of the corn.
no, then Babe had her puppies. She originally had 8, but 5 didn't make it through. And we just blame that on because she's been bred so much they didn't get
Yeah.
the nutrients they needed. And but 3 did survive. We kept 1, gave 2 to my aunt. Um, but the one that we kept, man, he was a hoss because he had boxer, husky, and Rottweiler in him. And let me tell you, if you looked at this dog first glance, you might have thought he was a pit bull. Oh God, you
I
two.
think that's one or two people that's on the things right now. It could be either Crystal. Don't even go there. It sounds more like to me that is Jeremy York.
Maybe that's why he's on the Things Network account, so we don't know it's him.
It might be one of those two. I seen Crystal on earlier, so it's looking to be like more. Uh, yeah, it might be Jeremy York. Don't even go there because we did that show, the Petri Dish with Ricky Elliott. Did you
I
see
was
that
on
show?
there.
Oh my
I was
God,
in there.
that carried on to the next show, man.
It
Alabama
did.
Skeleton Key. It was in there. They were talking about that in their chat room. So I mean, it was that was one of the better shows and one of the funniest shows that we had in a long time. I love it.
Oh God, you guys, that show went off the deep end real quick.
I know it went fast, didn't it? I mean,
I think that was a new record time for you, Howard.
I know, but it was good. I mean, if I could have went longer, that show could have went on for at least a good 4 hours.
Oh, it could have.
But now I got a show behind me, so I can't do that anymore. They need to
Yeah,
put
you
that show
can't just
behind
go
me.
as long as you want to now, huh?
Yeah, they need to put that show behind uh, Paranormal Swamp Talk because I mean, I like that's more like a paranormal talk show. We have fun, but it's also more paranormal. Petri dishes.
Mm-hmm. Just whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, no filter. NC-17. Yeah, and there
I
was the
mean,
bird
hey, but
show
that
for Nick
makes
at the
us
Corn.
a diverse network. We got the shows, that are more tailored for everybody to be able to watch, as The petri dish is for adults.
I put it on there. I make sure that they have it is explicit. And I haven't. I'm looking for. I might put a little sticker on the NC-17 on it. Uh, but it is. It's an adult show, and it's for the person that's uh, don't mind the swear. I mean, that's who we are. I mean, the shows are designed to get the paranormal investigators on there and to talk about to loosen up. You know, we all people too. We have fun. We joke around, and that's what that's
Exactly.
basically about. So why share? You know, just share it out in the world. You know, that's the way I see it. Let people see
Yeah,
who we are. We're real people. So
exactly. Excuse me. But
yeah, Nick does have fun on the show. I'm glad that I brought Nick in. I mean, the petri dish for 3 months was really bad. First 3 months, and I contacted Nick right before the new year and asked him if he would want to come on and be a host on the show, and he said, yeah. He jumped at it, and I made a big announcement that it's going to be a new format for the show and everything. We're going to do a whole different type of thing on the show, and that lasted for about 2 weeks, and we went right back, went right back to it. Oh, but yeah, we tried. I mean, that's all I could do is try. So what's
I
coming up in
really,
Blake's the Parainformant? What's coming up in for you as your show and stuff like that? Because I'm new to this. I think we did 2 shows together so far, and I like to know where you might be wanting to go with this. Or, I mean, right now it's awesome. I think you're giving out news and talk about movies. You talk about different things. It's a very open format. So
mhm. Yeah, I definitely want to, be more, news and, I kind of want to step away from what everybody else kind of does, like with the bringing guests on. Like I said before, I'm not completely against doing it every once in a while, especially when it relates to a big story that we have. And, and I'll do, like when Halloween time comes back around, talk about new haunts that come out or stuff like that, and we could do it all over the U.S. I'll talk about all the big haunted houses. Like you got Indy Scream Park, and then of course bring in your side of what you guys got down there in Louisiana, because I
we
feel
got
like
one
y'all just
Scream
get on the
House.
airboats and get on your airboats and have people standing out in the bogs or something.
No, we don't. We have a place. It's in New Orleans. It's called the Mortuary,
Okay,
and
I've heard about that place.
it's a true mortuary. It's haunted. It's actually haunted too. And every year they close it down. They don't want investigations. And if they do, it's an outrageous price to investigate this place. But it's right next to a cemetery. I mean, in New Orleans, old cemetery, and you can see the spirits coming in and out of this place constantly. And
Hmm.
even when it's Halloween, I mean, people go in there and you don't know what you're actually seeing. Could this be, something that they planned, or is this something that just came in from the cemetery, or something that's been there before? So, and that's the most haunted, more spook house that we have that everybody loves to go to.
Hmm.
But they
I
do
mean, it's
have
just like
haunted.
when you go to the Columbia City Jail.
Mhm.
That's another. We call it the haunted jail, and not only is it an attraction that we have every year, that it's a pretty big local attraction, and our very own Mr. Scott Smith actually helps out at that place and does all sorts of stuff with it, and um, it is actually a haunted place. It's kind of on the same level as the Crown Point jail.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure it was an old jailhouse. Um, and let me tell you, where they actually had most of the cells and everything in there, were all underground, and it's almost dungeon-like, dude.
Wow.
It's crazy. And uh, and it's awesome. It's a fun time to go there and go to the haunt, but it's always been a place I've kind of wanted to get into. And I think since we have Scott as such a close connection, I think that they've talked about uh, doing an event there or something.
Cool.
I don't really want to open about the event because I don't know how open the other fellas have been about it. So, it's their thing, and so.
Yeah.
But
I mean, be part of it. I mean, they gotta value your opinion or whatever you have to talk about. I mean, you have an idea. I mean, hell, it's always worthwhile just shooting it out there. It's all.
oh, exactly. Because I've been wanting to do an event somewhere to as a charity event for my little cousin who has cancer, and with him having need around the clock, monitor, and uh, mom has to stay home all the time. Well, mom and dad both work, or supposed to, and dad's the only one working. And so, I've talked to him about it since it first started. I was really hoping that location we've told you about, that Davies house, I was really hoping that they'd have it reopened by now, but I think some stuff got in the way of them being able to do it and all that. And so, I haven't really, bugged them about it. But that's what sucks is that
Here's the
now.
love of my life. The love of my life just walked in. She's on Hey Boo show. She's just getting off of work.
Give Howard a good old smack for me.
Your grandson's running around trying to be bare ass naked.
Good thing he didn't run in front of the camera, huh?
Well, he knows how to moon people now. 3 years old, he moon you. Look at this kid here moon.
Well,
He mooned me.
My mom's boyfriend's nephew has a little boy, and this is a funny story. He's done it to me twice now on 2 separate occasions. Walks up right up to me, and you think he's trying to be all sweet and trying to be nice, and he grabs me and goes, "Why are you so fat?" And the look on my face when he said it to me the first time, the first time it's really funny, because he's a toddler. He's like 3 or 4 years old. So the first time it's really funny. But the second time it kind of pisses you off. Why is this kid saying this to me? And I just look.
You can go to 1-2 ways with him on that. First way, you can actually do it just like Eric Cartman done. He says, "I'm not fat, I'm big bone." You can do it that way. Or if you want to be nice about it and make them really think later on in life, you can tell them, "Well, God made me this way because He didn't have enough room to put my heart. You have a big heart."
That'd really make a kid think.
Yep. So that'd be 1 or 2 ways I would say something to him. I'd probably go the first way.
That's what I'm saying. Knowing me, I'd probably go the first way. I'm just big boned.
Big bone. Beefcake. Yeah. Yeah, I've never had, I mean, he's been, I don't know, he's just been upset a little bit. I don't know what's going on in his little life right now. We get him about once a month. We get him for the whole weekend. He just come visit Mama and Papa and just see how we're doing and everything. But he's been acting out a little bit at school and stuff like that. And just trying to figure out why is he acting the way he's acting. So hopefully, I like that.
Yeah, that's got to be Jeremy now.
Yeah. The Indiana White Wookiee.
Sam Thomas, if you're afraid of going to jail, just run and hide in the fields of corn. They ought to keep them afterlife cops from finding you.
We're getting back to we were talking about the haunted spook houses. We have corn. We grow corn down here in Louisiana. We grow sugar cane. We grow it all because the soil's so good.
Well, you're
Oh
lucky
yeah,
because when you come to Indiana, if you're coming in December, you won't see none of our corn. But let me tell you, if you think you grow corn, you haven't seen Indiana.
you haven't. You need to come to Louisiana, then I'll tell you that. But we do have the swamp boat tours, haunted swamp boat tours, where it's on a. You can't do it on an airboat because on an airboat it's too loud. You have to wear actually headphones when you're on the airboat.
Hmm.
Imagine a airplane prop behind you. That's all it
I feel
is.
like
It's
you
a
guys
giant.
probably take out like a little John boat or something, you know.
Yeah, and we just ride around. It's like on the banks and stuff like that. Then again, you know, it could be real, it could be fake. You know, you just don't know in Louisiana. And the biggest
You
thing
just
is
never know
falling
with
in the water.
Louisiana.
You get scared, and you jump into the water. That's your ass because there's alligators. I mean, so you're screwed. So you got to stay on the boat. But yeah, that's haven't seen a lot of corn here in Iowa, huh? Yeah, it's because everything's
Iowa
cold.
normally does. Iowa normally grows quite a bit of corn too. You
Uh,
know, that's just the Midwest. You know, Iowa, Illinois, uh, Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. You know, they do grow a lot of corn, but hardly any of it actually stays in the states. I know, at least from Indiana. At least from Indiana, hardly any of it actually stays in the states. It normally goes out of country.
wow. See,
Because
you know, up north, y'all have like those little mazes, right? Y'all make
yeah, we
mazes in
got
the
corn
corn.
mazes and all that.
So yeah, you have mazes in the maze, right?
Yep, mazes in the maze.
There you go. I like that. I like that. It's just like with me here. I got my little chicken coop in the back out there, and the pigs and everything. And people say, "Why do you have that?" I said, "Well, it's called Petrie's Poultry and Pork." You know, and that's what I have. The three P's. It's PPP. And they said, "Why you raise it?" I said, "Well, they had COVID, food shortages. I still had fresh yard eggs. If it get hard up, I mean, I can always one of the pigs, and I got meat. I got shit. I got bacon and eggs, bro. Bacon and eggs all year long."
You know what your best bet would be is to raise them pigs, have a male and a female and
I do.
during breeding season, get them to
Mhm.
breed and then have them piglets and then check all the genders of your piglets, probably sell a couple and make a little bit of side money, but make sure that one of them gets old enough to where once they're old enough that you can take, the male or the female and, cook it up.
Yeah. That's what I'm actually thinking about. I'm drafting out the designs for a good a smokehouse right now. Uh,
Okay.
when that was before Ida came, and then I had a new pin that was going up. That was going to be for the female. The female, she's a Russian boy. She's something with Russian. It's the breed that she is, and she's about 4.5 foot tall, and she weighs close to about 565, I think now. So
Oh,
she's a
wow.
big pig. Yeah, she's about a year and a half old. And then I got the other pig. It's a male, but he is a pot belly uh, pig.
Pot belly, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody was big crazy. Had these little pot belly pigs. Oh, look how cute he is! But once they get bigger, they get rid of them. They don't want to deal with it because it gets so big.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
they
that's
get
all.
big and they eat everything. And I mean, if you ask me, pot belly pigs are real cute as piglets, but when they get full grown, they uglier than hell.
Oh, this thing is about butt ass ugly. I tell you that. But he's about 4 foot, and his belly you can't see underneath it because it's always scraping the ground. He's so fat, he's just constantly scraping the ground. And now I didn't notice it in the beginning. About 6 months ago, he had little white things on the side of his face, and I said, "What the shit is that?" And come to find out, it was his tusk. And now his tusk, I mean, them suckers are a good 4 inches, and it made his whole face instead of rounded, it made it flat, and it comes up like that. And I mean, he'll
You got to make
bore you.
sure to keep those trimmed because those things will just keep growing and growing and growing. And I've seen them where people just neglect it and they grow so far into where they actually come back up and pierce into their skin.
No, his
So
is about maybe 4 inches right now. So
yeah, so it's not too horrible, but I wouldn't really let him get past 5 or 6 inches.
but the pot-bellied pigs are great to eat. I've never had pot-bellied, so I mean, that's good to know. Carl, thanks a lot, brother. It is good to know because I never.
Oh yeah, pot
So
bellies
that's
are
what,
normally the ones that get sent to the fun house a lot because they got so much meat on them.
right?
And because that's why they're called pot bellies. They're just so big,
This
and that's
son of a
just
bitch is
because they
big.
naturally just have all that meat on them.
He's a big one. He's a big boy, and he's about 2 years old, so he's still growing. And he's
Yeah,
huge. He's fucking sorry. He's a huge pig. So, yeah, matter of fact, he doesn't move very fast. He kind of like, and he squeals at you. He tries talking to you and stuff. This one does because we raised him. And we put him in with the chickens. So the chickens actually help him like keep flies and stuff off of him. They'll eat the flies off him and stuff like that. But they'll ride on his back, walking
chickens
around
will
the
do
yard.
that to just about any animal. They'll just hop on the back for the ride.
I ain't never seen such a thing in my entire life. I mean, his house, they had a chicken that was in there laying an egg. And he got into the house and he's so big. I had to build him a new house. Um, he's so big, he was scraping from side to side. He was just like, shh, you can hear him. You can see the wear marks on the side of his little house. And the chicken hen had nowhere to go. And he laid on that chicken, killed that chicken. I said, look at that, man. That is crazy. I mean, if I was a chicken, seeing that thing coming in, I'm trying to get the hell out. But I mean, there was no way for the chicken to get out.
Yeah, and also I don't know if you really know this about pigs, but don't ever get in there like when you go to feed them or anything. Like make sure you ain't got no cuts, no scrapes, no nothing, because once they taste human blood, they thirst for it.
Really?
Yeah, and they won't
Huh.
stop. It's basically, if you think of a domesticated pig, think of them as soon as they get a taste of that human flesh or blood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you might as well think of them as a wild boar at that point.
Oh, I did not know that. It's good to know. Because I mean, I've been in there. And they come up to me, rub. I mean, the biggest one we got. She'll come up to me and she'll stick her head up, and you got the rubber behind her ear. If you go into her pen and you lay down, and sit down next to her, she's gonna come sit next to you.
Yeah, and I
You
mean
know
a lot
that.
of domesticated pigs are like that, really docile but like I said, I don't know what it is with them, but once they get that taste of flesh and blood, they
Hmm.
just go ape shit for it, man.
Wow, I did not know that.
It's kind of like if you want to think about it, crack for pigs. Think about it
Right?
that way.
Damn. Maybe don't go in a pig pen if they taste your blood. You heard me?
Oh, I
Don't go.
mean,
If the pig gets taste for human blood, it goes crazy. It goes right after you. It want to kill you. You just gave her one more anxiety to worry about now.
hey, you did that. I told you, and you told her. You told her.
I don't hide nothing from her. I don't. I don't hide nothing from her. It's the everything.
Yeah,
My phone. She
Sam
grabs my
Thomas
phone.
is pretty close. It don't take very long. If a pig gets loose, it'll go wild in just a small bit.
Quick
It ain't
wild, huh?
like a dog or a cat. They get out and they still want to go up to a human and be loved on, but pigs, it don't take them very long for them to just like snap back into being wild.
Wow, that's crazy. I never knew that either. There's a lot that I'm learning about pigs. I mean,
Now let
people,
me
my
tell
neighbors
you.
don't like it, but I don't care.
Well, I think we ran over our time limit a little bit today.
They don't care. We got the whole day.
I don't. I'm actually quite busy today.
Me too.
We got tickets to go see Circus Soleil tonight. So I
Oh, that's a bunch of freaks. Take pictures.
think this is the second time we've seen them. I remember seeing them once when I was real little with my grandma.
Those got to be freaks. I mean, they can do all that stuff. Can you imagine in a bedroom what they can do? Good Lord.
Oh, okay. Now we gotta end the show on that one.
Get you a date.
But I'll ask one of them out for you.
Yeah, I'll come up. I'll get my freak on.
But all right, everybody. Thanks for stopping in, hanging out with us, putting up with us for an hour and a half. I hope
Appreciate
to
it,
see
guys.
y'all next weekend. Hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend and week, and we'll check back up on you next Saturday. Well, Howard will see you Wednesday and Thursday, but
Well, Thursday we won't have a show because that's Thanksgiving.
that's right. Yep,
So
Thanksgiving.
we'll have a show, and we'll have Miss Dana Holyfield on. Her grandfather was Harlan Ford, who actually has the first pictures of the notorious Honey Island swamp monster, which is about maybe 20 minutes away from me. So this is going to be a good show. So hopefully everybody will tune in and watch it.
Yeah, I definitely will. That's for sure.
Appreciate it.
But everybody have a great rest of your night. Well, day, not night. Everybody have a great rest of your day and weekend and week. We'll hit you back on Saturday.
See y'all Saturday.